Okay friends, we're in a pretty good spot on this build, but let's talk about a couple things. Now, I took a lot of time off camera sanding this edge so that it's nice and smooth, get it the way I wanted it, because the next thing that I need to do is route a round over around this entire edge. I want to put a small round over on it just to kind of ease that edge. I don't like when they're too sharp, doesn't feel good on your arm. So I want to put a little round over in there. I've got a 1/4 inch round over bit chucked up in the router, and we're going to run that around the edge. But that meant that I needed to get this side real nice and smooth so that when the router follows that, we get a nice crisp round over all the way around. And I'm going to do that on both the front and the back side. Just with that little 1/4 inch round over, I think it'll give it just enough of a detail to make it really pop. Now, I also want to do an arm carve on this part here, similar to a Stratocaster, but maybe not as aggressive. The one thing I do want to do is I want to kind of reveal that black pinstripe on the face of this guitar just a little bit, not a whole lot. I don't want it to start looking a little too Kiesel, but I don't want it to look totally Telecaster either. So those are the first two things that we got to do. So let's get to work.
Starting out with my handy little DeWalt cordless router, we run a 1/4 inch round over around all the edges. Both the front and the back.
Okay, for the most part that went all right. As you can see, I kind of missed my depth setting a little bit when doing the top. That's okay, I can blend that in. You'll never even notice it when I'm done. Now, I also need to deal with these two little areas here where the router can't quite get in here because again, neck through, so this fretboard's kind of in the way. This is gonna require file work and just gently working it over. We'll get there. Also, the next step after that is to deal with this big chunky heel. I want to blend this in a whole lot better. You can see where it needs to come across here and blend in a whole lot better. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on smoothing out these two transitions here up to the neck through body part, smoothing these in, and then we're going to get after this arm carve. So let's get to work.
For these areas in the body horns where the neck was in the way of the router, we just come in here with my Dragon Rasps and start filing away. I really love this set of Dragon Rasps. I got them off Amazon, and I'll link to them below if you want to pick up a set. It's not an affiliate link. I get nothing for it, so don't feel pressured to use my link. I'm just sharing because I think, for the money, this is a great set of rasps to get you started. After dealing with the round over in the horns, I can move on to the heel. Again, just a lot of work with the rasps, paying attention to where I am and working slow. Don't get in a rush. You can take wood off, but it becomes increasingly difficult to put it back once you've gone too far. And next we can move on to that arm part. I'm looking for something not quite Stratocaster, but certainly not slab body like a normal Telecaster. My little hand sanding glove helps smooth things out so I can do a quick check of where I am. And maybe a bit more carbon. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, we've got this arm carve looking the way that I wanted it to. It's just revealing a little bit of that black line from the front view and still giving a nice round over for that arm, so it's a little more comfortable to play. I've got these neck transitions kind of worked in a little bit better. The heel is looking much better. Pretty happy with that. When I hold it, it feels pretty good. So that's, you know, I'm not a guitar player by any means. I'm more of a bass player, but I know what that should feel like, and it's feeling pretty good. So the next thing that I need to focus on here is down at the other end, and I want to start working on this headstock, getting this cleaned up a little bit more, and I may do a little bit more work to the volute just to get it looking a little more crisp. To me, it looks a little soft, and I want it to be a little more crisp. So I've got some cleanup work to do on this headstock, especially right here where I got a little bit of tear out with the router. We're gonna get that done, and I think we'll have most of the body shaping finished. So let's get to that.
I started out by working on that volute a bit more. This was a fine line between finding a shape that I liked and not removing all of the Wenge accent piece here.
Okay, we've got this body shaped kind of the way I want it. A little bit of an arm carve on it, not too drastic, just a slight reveal on that black accent stripe. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but I just want to bring it out a little bit. Got that heel transition looking a lot better. When I hold this thing, it feels pretty good. I did do a little bit of work to this volute, kind of recarving that a little bit, kind of get that transition a little bit better. I wasn't too happy with it, but yeah, it's looking good now. Got some of the router tear out stuff taken care of on that headstock, so all of those transitions are a little bit smoother around those edges. Looking pretty good, feels good, so it must be good. So we've got this body kind of where I want it. The next thing that I need to do is start mocking up all of the hardware, get all the holes drilled for everything, start getting everything mounted in place so that we know everything is working and where it needs to be. Then we can blow this thing apart and start sanding like crazy. I think we're getting down to the end of this one, so I'm going to save that for the next video. If you guys enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with your friends. If you'd like, give me a sub, I'd appreciate that, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.
Voyeur Guitars. Who's watching you?